geographically, if we've got a road between one particular area and another area that we can light up an area and let it burn back into the unyet contained fire, we'll take that opportunity.
And it'll put the fires out, hopefully.
Hopefully, because it's manageable, and that's what it
right.
comes down to. And unfortunately, when they just say it's just a backburn. So, yes, Sam was a result of the backburn.
Was that before the fires or after the fires had taken place? So what date was it that you guys found?
The 1st of Feb, yeah. It was the week before the devastating fires of Kinglake and Marysborough. Right. This fire, which was part of the Delburn Complex fire, was still unyet contained.
These fires that are still going through Wilson's Promontory, I mean, it's terrible. A national park. The amount of wildlife that's in there, I mean, I'm ready to just go in there, throw on the fire hat and get these animals out of there. David, as a volunteer firefighter, what do you think about the amazing job that Wildlife Victoria are doing and all of the volunteers? I mean, they're doing it for free.
For zilch.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Look, we, as CFA, volunteer firefighters, we drive around in big red fire trucks, that are owned by the state government. We get diesel fuel allocated through state government funds.
Yeah.
But for Wildlife Victorian rescuers, they've got nothing. They use their income from their job to supplement to go out and do the rescues. And they're the people, I mean, they're just as big a heroes as us firefighters, I reckon, because you've got people, just ordinary people that have low incomes, but they'll travel hundreds of kilometres.
I know, it's amazing.
It really is. They'll travel hundreds of kilometres to rescue a magpie or a koala or a wallaby or something. And we can't forget about these people.
They truly have a unique spirit, don't they? Amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're just,
They really are true wildlife warriors,
absolutely.
Aren't they?
And we've got them in our own backyard, and my hat goes off to them.
Mate, an absolute pleasure.
Likewise.
Thank you so much.
Not a problem.
And look, I do speak on behalf of the world. For all of you firefighters, mate, our hearts are with you. We really are. It is believed that well over 1 million animals have been injured in the fires. Wildlife Victoria desperately need donations to help assist in the rescue, rehabilitation and care of injured native animals. Please help us. Grab your credit card, jump on the phone and dial 1300 859 453 or simply go online and type in wildlifevictoria.org.au and click on the donate button. Listen to your heart, everyone. It doesn't get any more important than this. The aftermath the bushfires have left in regions is horrifying. Thousands of starving animals, 6 wildlife shelters destroyed, and thousands of injured animals that are severely burned on the outside and also on the inside of their lungs from smoke inhalation. What you are about to see now is quite amazing, and we'll show you what some of the volunteers are going through to keep these animals alive. How many hours have you spent looking after these guys?
Well, since the fires, it's been around the clock, really.
24 hours?
24 hours. My wife sleeps in this room and I get what sleep I can in the other room and leave her to it because she's up right through till the morning with the carers that come in and help her out.
Right.
So.
Hey you, and how are you coping with it?
Oh, it's just good to see the job that's getting done, you know, and
Yeah,
just
yeah,
put up
yeah.
with it until as long as it takes.
Yeah. And the attachment, it must be pretty rough.
You do get attached to them for sure, and
Yeah.
to see the ones that are really burnt, yeah, I feel for the ones that are still out there.
Yeah. How many do you think are in this area where you are? How many do you think are out there now?
Like I say, we've probably picked up 10, probably seen another couple, and I know there's another crew working that's taken quite a few, so
Right.
it's just hard to say. We've only done a small portion of the block, and yeah, I'd just be guessing to see what sort of numbers are out there.
Right.
And if you really got to know them, you know, people would be quite amazed to how loving and sensitive, intelligent these animals are. And we should be proud of them. We should be proud of them.
Yeah. Now this is Bob, and Bob is quite simply magnificent. I really liked Bob. They had another like Bob, but he died a few days before I arrived.
The thing is, I have to handle these guys every day because when the vets come, I have to hold them. I have no choice of, you know, and then I've got to change cages, so we have to bond. How you going, buddy?
And what were his injuries?
At this stage, probably losing his mum, all his mates, very scared, frightened, a few singes, but we haven't found
singes all through here.
we haven't found any burns to his pads or to his nose.
That's good. And his ears all gone.
Basically now it's just building up that bonding where he feels safe here, so they will keep on eating. We just don't know what they've been through.
What have they been through?
He was found up a tree, which took my husband nearly 3 days to lower him down. And he was up so high in a tree with no leaves and no vegetation, so it was only a matter of time before he died.
This is Boo Boo. Seeing Boo Boo on the ventilator was the saddest thing I've ever seen. Lisa and her husband Dwayne are up with her 24 hours a day, taking naps when they can. Boo Boo's condition is serious, and whether she will live is unknown. So she's got smoke inhalation, this one?
She has, yeah.
Right. Poor little fella. Is that a male or a female?
That's a little girl, and she's actually lost her baby as well. This goes on about every hour. There's some saline in it to keep her airways clear, help her breathe.
So what are her injuries?
She's got burnt feet, burnt nose, burnt eyes, most likely down her throat, airways, could be scorched. Her little spirit's very high. So
How old do you think she is?
we're putting her around about 7.
Well, that breaks your heart, doesn't it? Lisa and Dwayne are true wildlife warriors, they really are. Our hearts go out to them and all the animals they are trying to save. Lisa and Dwayne are just one of the many shelters that need your help. They lost their other volunteers as they had to work their other jobs to pay bills. Please pick up the phone and dial 1300 859 453 or go online and type in the web address on the bottom of the screen and click on the donate link on the page. Boo Boo and all their other animals need your help desperately. We'll be right back after this break with 3 special guests that have come to say g'day to you all. Here with me now are some very special guests. We have Elaine Ong, who has been the head veterinarian in conjunction with Wildlife Victoria, CEO Park Ranger Michael Johnson from the Moonlit Sanctuary Wildlife Conservation Park, and next to me here is an endangered Australian native, the yellow-bellied glider. Elaine, I'll start with you. Now look, I've been told personally about your truly courageous work during these fires. Look, can you tell us what have you been going through personally?
I must say that courageous is not a fitting word. It's, I think, more desperation and determination.
Yeah.
There are two major crises facing these animals at the moment, and I'll elaborate in a minute. But I speak on behalf of over 100 vets and nurses out there working around the clock since day one. All volunteers working within vet clinics surrounding the fires and also at our triage centre set up by Wildlife Victoria. We are now faced with animals, particularly wildlife such as kangaroos and wallabies that are burnt and injured, and they cannot be caught easily, and they're still suffering out there. And the second major crisis is starvation of these animals. You know, the wombats and the echidnas, when they come out, there's no more food left.
There's no food.
So the work is just beginning. We still have months of work ahead.
And the ground is still smouldering out there.
Yes, and there are some areas we are desperate to get into and we still can't get in. But we're working as hard as we can.
Yeah, that's fantastic. A lot of people have been saying, or they believe that, they've heard that the wombats, because they've got their little homes underground, that they're okay. Well, yes, they may have survived the fires, but what are they left with?
Nothing, absolutely nothing. And we've seen that in the last 3 bushfires. We know what they're going through right now. They come out and there's no food left or water. And it's the same with the echidnas. We've seen a few, and the lucky ones are the ones that we've picked up. But there's still many out there, thousands that need to be fed in the next 6 months.
In the next 6 months. Have you had many wombats start coming in yet?
Yes, we have.
They've already started?
Yes.
Yeah, it's frightening. So please get on your phone and dial 1300 859 453 or online for those overseas and type in wildlifevictoria.org.au and click on the donate button on that page. Your donation is going to save lives. Michael, this here is a healthy yellow-bellied glider.
Yes.
And he is on the endangered list,
That's
this
right.
little guy. They live in the hollows of trees, so...
Yeah, especially the mountain ash trees, of course,
Right.
which is the forests that burnt over the Black Saturday, so a lot of them would have died in the forests.
A lot of them would have. What chance do you think all this little girl's family, friends would have had out there?
Very little. I mean, they're nocturnal, so they would have been in the hollows. The trees are burnt, we've seen that.
Yeah.
And devastation, a lot of animals would have died.
Dear. As a wildlife conservationist, can you tell the world why our native wildlife is so important?
Well, it's important because it's unique to Australia. You can go overseas in different countries, you can see different types of cat, for instance, or deer, but Australia is the only place you'll find gliders and kangaroos. And
The ones that have been brought in, what sort of injuries have they got?
We've seen a few gliders that have gone on to Hillsville Sanctuary with burns and smoke inhalation.
They're doing an amazing job out there too. I
Yeah.
heard that they were operating every day. Now, Michael, how many of these guys would you say are still in existence?
Well, there's probably about 20,000 odd or more maybe, but what we know is that they're declining, the numbers are declining, and as habitat fragments, there's fewer and fewer populations existing in the wild, and that's the basic problem. And so we now think that they're a threatened species. So.
How many would they have started out at?
Oh, well, they would have been found right up and down the east coast of Australia and
Yeah, right.
throughout the forest, so there'd be many, many thousands, hundreds of thousands probably.
You guys are running conservation breeding programs.
Yeah, we are involved
Tell
in
us about
conservation breeding programs for a number of species, and with the yellow-bellied gliders, we only have the one pair at the moment, but we're working in conjunction with Taronga Zoo in Sydney and trying to put together a breeding program for them to breed up the numbers in captivity and also find out more about them because very little is known about them. They live high up in mountain ash trees and very hard to observe. Yeah.
They have the most gorgeous looking face. Elaine, what are the main types of wildlife that you and your vets have had to work on through the fires?
In the emergency phase, we were treating everything that came in, including cats, dogs, horses, camel, goats. But for wildlife, they've started coming in. We see mainly macropods, the kangaroos, wallabies, lots and lots of koalas, echidnas, a few wombats. Yeah, those are the main ones that have come in with burns or various degrees of burns, smoke inhalation.
Yeah.
And some have been, been involved in car accidents because they've been running on the road.
Now, Elaine, I've spent quite a bit of time at the shelters and triages and animal hospitals around the fires. Now, I've seen a lot of koalas, and